Good morning, folks. This is Jacob Folger, artist sculptor, and today we're going to make a magical mushroom gnome. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's an easy project. This is for beginners or anybody, really, but really it's definitely a beginner's project, and it's a lot of fun. We're going to do it, and we're going to get started right now. Okay, before I get started, I want to go over some of the things we'll be using today. Cup of water with a couple, maybe two paintbrushes, 1 or 2 paintbrushes. That's for smoothing the clay if you want to smooth it. A couple sculpting tools. You can get a package of like 5 or 6 of these from an art store. They come in plastic and wood. I like the wood ones better. This is a cutting tool. It's a very thin wire with handles on it. And if you need to cut the clay or cut it away from the base, it's helpful to have wire. You need a flat surface to work on. This is a yogurt container lid. And then the clay we'll be using is air dry clay or self-hardening clay, the same thing. And I use Marblex, but you can use whatever brand you like. So I like Marblex because it's very, very good clay. All right, and so let me make some space here, and I'll take off a bit of clay, and this clay comes out of the package ready to use. I'm going to start by rolling into a ball off screen, so as there's not really enough room on the set, so I roll it into a ball and then roll it into a oblong shape. You can just roll it between the palms of your hands. So maybe like that, maybe a little taller. I'm going to roll it off screen, it's a little bit easier. So it's like this. And then you can flatten the top of it a little bit, so for the mushroom cap that will go on later. And just smooth it out if there's any imperfections. And then you can press it onto the lid or whatever your base is. You can use a piece of wood or whatever. Something that is probably not affected by water would be the best thing. Okay, so we're all set there, and that's what it should look like. And now, if you take your thumbs like this, you can press in like that, and that forms the beginning of the eyes and the beginning of the nose. And I'm going to move this over here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is take a little ball of clay first to start off with, and roll it into a noodle or like an oblong shape like that, and put it on here for the nose, and then blend it in. And blending is just drying the clay to blend it into the other parts of the piece. So it looks like this. You can see. Maybe blend it in down the bottom too. Now, I want to make this a sleeping mushroom gnome. So, you start off with a little ball. We're going to make the eyelids. And you roll it into a little oblong shape like this. And put it on the face like that. And then blend it in at the top. See, it instantly makes it look like he's sleeping. We'll get another little ball. Roll it into an oblong shape. And blend it in here on the sides and it's a really simple way to do eyes. You know, doing eyes open, it takes a little bit more work. I'm going to just take a sculpting tool and just smooth that in a little bit there. So it should look like that. Now what I want to do is I want to put a mustache on him. So I'm going to take a little bit of clay and I'm going to roll it into a ball and then a noodle. So it's a noodle like this. And then I want to roll it on the ends a little bit between the palms of my hands so it comes to a point. Like that on both ends. And then you can bend it like this. Decide where you want to put it. So it'll go on like this. And then take your sculpting tool, one that has a sharp end on it, and dip it in some water and score where the mustache is going to go. You're just basically scratching the surface, and what that does is it kind of creates slip. They call it slip because the water is mixed with the scoring marks, and it creates like this mud. And then when you put it on, it'll be really sturdy. It'll last a lot longer. And then I think what I'm going to do is turn his mustache up at the ends. Just to make him kind of fun. See? It's not too hard. Just take your time. You should be able to do this your first time out. It might be a little bit rough the first time that you do it, but you know, this is definitely a beginner's project. So then you can take your sculpting tool and right at the center, just below the nose, sculpt in a line like that. And that's the division of the mustache. And then you can take your sculpting tool and carve in the hair for the mustache. Do it all the way around, and then do the other side. So you got like a handlebar mustache, which is really fun. There we go. Set them on here. It looks pretty cool. Now I'm going to put some eyebrows on him. So I'm going to start off with a ball of clay. Roll it into a noodle. Decide where I want it to go. So I want it to go like that. And I'm going to take my tool, wet it, and score it. Wet it and score it. And then put it on. Just kind of twist it on a little bit like that. And then I'm going to get another piece, roll it into a ball, and then into a little oblong shape like this. Make sure it's about the same size as this one. Decide where it's going to go. But your tool, make sure your tool is clean too. If it's got clay on the end like that, take it off. So it's good and sharp, you know. So So there we got it so far. And now we want to add some texture to his, some hair texture to his eyebrows. I'm going to clean off my tool. If you get a lot of buildup on the tool, it'll get into the clay of your work, so you have a problem. Now, if your clay feels like it's drying out on you, you can wet it with a paintbrush, or I didn't show you this in the beginning, I'm sorry, but this is a water misting tool. A water misting bottle, and you can just give your sculpts a little mist, and also your source clay. Get it wet, keep it wet. And that's a simple way, or you can use a paintbrush and water. So that's what we have so far. Okay. I'm going to set him out of the way for a minute and get a little bit of clay here. Maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to start by rolling a ball off screens because I don't really have room on the set. So I have a ball. Now I'm going to roll it into a cone shape. Like that. And then I'm going to take my fingers like this and squeeze at the base while I'm rotating it. And this is going to be the mushroom top. But it's going to be a magical mushroom gnome, so the mushroom top is not like a typical mushroom. It's kind of like that. So, and then you can take the top and bend it, and you can just make it look fun. So that's kind of fun like that. And let's see how it's going to look on there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. I'm just going to flare this out a little bit more. Now, when you're, if your clay isn't really moist, when you're bending it like this here, you might get cracks developing here. Just make sure your clay is really moist when you're moving it around like that. So that you don't have problems with that. Just wet it with your water bottle or your brush in water. See how that looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. So now we're going to make sure our tool is clean. Wet it. Score where it's going to go on the gnome's head. Score wet and score, wet the tool and score on top of here. And doing that, it makes it'll just make it a lot stronger bond, you know. And then when you put it on, sort of twist it on like that. And then you can maybe just have some of it going up like that and some of it going down so it looks kind of natural. And that's the magical mushroom gnome. Really, really fun, easy project. It's not hard. Take your time. Definitely don't be afraid to try. It's a lot of fun. And then you can take a paintbrush and water, squeeze off the water for the most part. You know, just have a little bit on your brush, and then you can smooth it with the paintbrush and water. And just take your time. I prefer to leave the sculpting marks in, but I just want to show you how to do this. And then get it wet again. You can use a cloth to clean the clay off, or you can also stab it into the bottom of the water bottle or jar or whatever you've got. If you stab it in, it'll remove most of the clay. And then Just take your time and smooth it if you want it nice and smooth. There we go. So that's a kind of a fun project. And you can just let it air dry, and it'll probably take a day or two to harden completely, and then you can paint it. If you want, you can put it in the oven for a short time at a low setting, like just on warm, just to dry the surface, and then you can paint it faster if you're impatient. But you should probably not do that for more than 10 or 15 minutes, because you do want it to air dry the rest of the way, on its own. You don't want to, in other words, you're not baking the clay, you're just simply drying the surface so you can paint it. So, if you're impatient. So there we go. Really fun project. I hope you try it. Well, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that, making that gnome, and I hope you will give it a shot, because it's really a pretty easy project, and it's a lot of fun, and it's great. It's really great. If you like the video, please give it a like, share it with your friends and family. That really helps a lot, or any social media platforms you're on. And leave a comment. Definitely leave a comment for me. Tell me what you think of the video, and if you like it and you like this sort of thing. And subscribe to my channel. Okay. And I want to thank my patrons for sure. With your support, I'm able to make these videos for everyone to enjoy. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a patron, $10 a month goes a long ways, but you don't have to do that much. You can do $5 or whatever. Any support would be really great. And there'll be a link in the video description for my Patreon account. So take a look at that if you like. And thanks again for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.